White Zombie's career could have been short-lived. In fact, no one would have known about the band had it not been for MTV. The band would come up during the 80s and would nab their first major record contract with Geffen Records in the early 90s, prior to the release of their third studio album. Their third studio album would be released in March of 1992 and would be titled La Sexorcisto Devil Music Volume 1. Now, upon its release, the album was a colossal flop, not even making the Billboard Top 100 charts, and selling an average of 2,000 copies a week, at least according to the LA Times. The band's fortunes would change by the summer of 1993 as a new animated MTV show titled Beavis and Butthead would highlight White Zombie, turning around the sales of the group's third record. Now, just to put things into perspective, prior to being featured on the show, the album cumulatively sold about 75,000 copies. On top of that, the band's single Thunderkiss 65 would be released 3 times until it was featured on Beavis and Butthead and finally took off. Also working against the band was the album's title, which scared away some record stores, with Rob Zombie recalling in 1993, "I just thought it was a cool title. I forgot how easy it was to freak parents out. And when the album came out, some stores wouldn't carry it because of the title, but they're carrying it now." And it wouldn't be Thunderkiss 65 that got featured on the show, as Welcome to Planet Mother Effers and Black Sunshine also got exposure. And Rick Krim, MTV's Vice President of Talent and Artist Relations, told the LA Times in 1993, "We had liked Thunder video and supported it with the play on various specialty shows. That never really sparked significant album sales. The Beavis and Butthead exposure sure did, and the sales response was pretty immediate. We saw that and put the video in real rotation, and then the album really started selling. Almost everything that gets played on the show gets some sort of sales bump from it, but the sales increase from White Zombie album was the most significant." During the tour to support the album, frontman Rob Zombie kept hearing that the video for its song Welcome to the Planet Mother Effer was being featured on Beavis and Butthead. And Beavis and Butthead were already known for killing a band's career, most notably Winger, but in the case of White Zombie, they loved the band, with Rob Zombie remembering, "The record immediately started picking up in markets where we never played, like Wyoming and Missouri, places where Beavis and Butthead was the only thing happening, where it's just cows. It always seemed we needed something to give the album a kick in the butt, and I guess that was the thing." And Rob Zombie would tell the LA Times in 1993, "Until they started showing the video, it was an invisible album. I don't think half of the people at the label even knew the record existed." Now, in addition to being featured on the show, Rob Zombie also credited the non-stop touring for getting the word out, saying, "It wasn't being played on the radio, and the record company withdrew our tour support ages ago. And you can't blame them because we weren't selling a lot of records. So if we hadn't been out there touring constantly, the record would have been dead a long time ago, and Beavis and Butthead wouldn't have had any record to talk about." Now, since being featured on the show, the album sold more than 500,000 copies by October of 1993, and the album would continue to climb up the Billboard charts. At the end of the day, the album would go on to be certified double platinum in the United States, and White Zombie wasn't the only band to get a boost from Beavis and Butthead, also giving sales boost to the group Babes in Toyland, with the show's executive producer saying, "It's definitely an indication of how hot the show is," with the producer going on to explain how videos are chosen for the program, saying videos that are funny because we haven't seen them in 10 years, ones that totally suck, and ones that fit into the type of music they like. They're definitely metalheads, referring to Beavis and Butthead. Now, Rob Zombie would perfectly sum up the impact of Beavis and Butthead, saying, "Beavis and Butthead are the Siskel and Ebert of the retarded generation, but I guess kids do care what they say." And as Beavis and Butthead became more popular, Hollywood came knocking, as a movie was made in 1997 on the show and featured a White Zombie on the soundtrack with the song Ratfinks, Suicide Tanks, and Cannibal Girls. Now, not only did Rob Zombie contribute music to the movie, but he also contributed some artwork and created some scenes for the movie, as he told Larry King here.
Made it for you.
The key moment was Beavis and Butthead, because there was a moment around 1992. Like, you know, our band had signed to Geffen Records. We had a single out, and we were trying to promote it, but you know, it was really hard to break through because we were pretty weird for what was typically on MTV at that time. But then Beavis and Butthead broke, and they played one of our videos, and overnight it changed everything. I mean, we went from like selling, you know, 500 records a week to 30,000 records a week. You went from being, you know, playing tiny clubs to arenas in 6 months. It was just like an explosion.
Wow. And you took that to film.
Yeah, I mean, it was always sort of, and then I got to know Mike Judge, and then I worked on his Beavis and Butthead Do America movie, animating a sequence where Beavis starts tripping after I think he eats a cactus or something and starts hallucinating. So
you were home, man. Man, this is
I grabbed on and I wasn't going to let go.
So that does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. And as always, let me know which stories you'd like to see me cover in future episodes of my channel. Take care.